Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much. Okay, so listen, I did the update. There was another one. It seems to be one update after the other for the microphone. It's not just like the old fashioned plug in and go microphone, it requires a software update, and maybe they keep tweaking it, hoping that it will somehow improve or something like that. But I could not be the only person that's having this problem with the Shure microphone. But yeah, whatever the case may be, um, I'm just about sick of it. Do you hear me? Sick! I'm sick of it. So, um, yeah, hopefully I can just keep up with it as necessary, and that we don't have to go through this day after day after day, because it's getting a bit out of hand. This is like a daily occurrence. But sounds like first world problems, if you ask me. So let me stop complaining, because there are so many bigger things going on in this world, especially when you consider the genocide that's taking place in Gaza, so many war crimes and such. There's a lot of things that's going wrong. So I I don't really have room to complain about stuff. So I'll just move on. And with that, let us continue. Um, okay. Oh, let me move my slides up in place. Got to get my slides going here. Yeah, I'm tired of war. It's exhausting. It is exhausting. And in 2024, you would think that would just be something that was behind us, but instead is so persistent. And it's like there's an abundance of resource, even with what, almost 10 billion people or more on the planet. There's an abundance of resources, but still we fight and claw and clamor, jockeying for position. Okay, there we go. Um, all right, let's see. Valerie, you were here first. Hey to you too. Okay. I kind of feel like I want to leave that in the corner there, but I'm just going to trust that I won't have to worry about this for the rest of today. Okay. I hope it doesn't go out again. But you all will let me know. So um, it's all good. All right. And okay, Bunny Rose, you're the last one in here. Thank you. Nope. Cherry Traveler. Very cool. And let's get on with it. I don't think we'll be here more than 40 minutes. So I have figured out where this dress comes from. She may have worn it several times, but the only other place that I know that she's worn this dress, I believe it was Wimbledon back in 2023, with the famous image of her baring her bottom teeth. Some of the meanest, cruelest people in the world, sometimes just out of force of habit, uh, starts baring their bottom teeth, and she's no exception. I mean, look at her. Okay, now this might scare you. It's kind of loud, but when I saw it, all I could think of, well, you'll see what I was thinking of. Sometimes when the ships are going out into harbor, they have that big steam whistle. You know which one I'm talking about. It's the one that goes like this. That whistle. Yes, that whistle. That's what that face reminds me of. It reminds me of some old broken down article barnacle barge going out into the sound on its way to I don't know to take rubbish and drop it somewhere. Yeah, it sounds like some old steam whistle on some broken down barnacle barge that's taking rubbish out to some deserted toxic island or the queen consort. uh I tell you, I don't ever get tired of dragging those two ever. I don't ever get tired. It's like a lazy yawn. I could do it all day. Just dragging and dragging and dragging. They're not my sort. They're not my favorite people. Hello, Legs. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. Well, it doesn't have the little rope and the tassel on it, so I'm gonna just assume that that is a dress. Yeah, I'm gonna. Everything she wears has that same cut to it. Everything she wears has that same type of A cut to it. I don't know why they think that's the most flattering thing in the world, but they're trying to give her some type of a cinched waist, which I say is a waste of time. But what they need to do is try to find her an anti-gravity brassiere. That's what they need to do. They need to try to find something that can go probably more than, what is it, 18 hours? Yeah, they need to find something that's something that's made with a space age material. Okay, so scientists have discovered where the ugliest people in Britain live. One U.S. scientist has controversially suggested where uglier people migrate to in Britain. They've also revealed which parts of the UK attract the good looking. Now, you know what? That is a headline that is pregnant with possibilities. And I think it's time to find out who's the daddy. Um, who, where would you find those unattractive people? I think I know where to start. I think I know where to start. Um, have you guys heard of that event called Trooping the Colors? The thing is, um, you need only scour the royal residence, not necessarily including anyone in these photos here. I'm just using it to show you the backdrop of the royal residence. But I thought Lizzie and what's his name, um, Philip, they were a very handsome couple. Now, did that translate to their offspring? Recollections may vary. It depends on when you catch them. I mean, all of their kids had a moment. They had a moment that came and went very fast, very fast. But I'm just going to say, where her children are concerned, most of them did not age very well. I'll show you a case in point. Did not age very well. This beast right here, that monster did not age very well. And I remember Hollywood good looks. What happened? And also one of the Queen's grandsons, Hollywood good looks. And then you say, what happened? I don't know. But then there's one that, just I would say makes up for all of the family deficits. There's one that makes up for all of the deficits in the family. But yeah, I mean, they start off okay, and then all of a sudden, it's just like um, Beauty, then the Beast. Yeah, yeah. I would say that, except for Charles. Charles always had some kind of a quirky, cartoonish look about him. I would never say that he was unattractive when he was younger, but he was rather cartoonish. But also, I would like to say that I believe that his face, well, yeah, his face has caught up to his ears. That's what I always say about him. You don't even notice his ears no more because his face is is so facey. So, but yeah, so I haven't really taken a deep dive into that study, but I think I'll try to catch up with that one later. Um, I'd rather see the original article that it comes from so I can make sure that I'm not getting any bias in the report. So, Connie Balmer. Hey, Connie Balmer. Let me see here. Maybe Rix is here. Esmeralda Dillon is here. I'm sorry, Dylan. I think I put too much on it, don't I? Who else is here? Novi D, Gwendolyn Daniels. Very good. Thank you all for being here. Okay, so someone is, I guess, headed up to here with Royal Sussex. You take so long to talk about what's going on with the Royals. Why? It's why we tune in, not to hear 100 other topics. Plus, you hesitate a lot, and what is it? And it's very boring. Woo! Did they gather me? Did they get me together? Huh? I mean to tell you, did they rattle my cage real good? Hey, soul brother, thank you for being here. You're just in time because I have to stall, so I'm going to keep saying hi to everybody and talking about everything but the Royals. Because apparently, this person whose identity I have decided to cover says, "You take so long to talk about what's going on with the Royals. It's why we tune in, not to hear about 100 other topics. Plus, you hesitate a lot saying, and That's what got me was the and It's very boring. Now, listen, I have been accused of a lot of things in my lifetime, but boring is not one of them. Okay? Boring is not one of them. But the and yeah, I'll cop to that one. And of course, talking about 100 and other things, guilty. But boring, you got me all effed up. Okay? Okay? Oh my goodness. Anyway, I love it. So if you want to hear the greatest of the and ums, please go and check out King Charles and Godzilla Low Turnout. That way that way you can get the very best of and When I saw this, I howled. Do you hear me? I howled. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious. I said, okay, we really need to start with that one tomorrow. The nerves. The nerves. I'm surprised it doesn't say signed Kensington Palace. Anyway, uh, mm, uh, mm, mm, uh. Woo! I love it. You gotta admit though, it is kind of funny. It is kind of funny. I know, Lady E. It is so cute. It is so cute. What could I say? You got me with the the I would like for one of those DJs to turn that into like one of those deep house music songs. Uh, mm, uh, mm, Yes, I would love for someone to turn that into a deep house remix. Royal Sussex, and featuring Baron. Woo! I love it. Oh, you think a little like a little rap, huh? Okay. Rap, okay. Long as it's got a nice hook and a great break beat. That's what I'm looking for in a mockery from some nameless, faceless individual whose channel only has three subscribers. That's what I'm looking for. Anyway, thank you so much for that constructive criticism. And I will do my best to incorporate that in the very next episode of Royal Sussex. So, anyway, is there something else off topic we need to discuss since we're on the subject? Or should I say, since we're not on the subject? I mean, I'm just saying, I will cop to all of those things, including hesitate a lot and all that stuff. But boring? Come on now. Come on, boring. I may be a lot of things. You could accuse me of the worst, but not boring. Let me see, Baron. Can we please put lit for Sussex link? Yes. I see it already? I was too busy on it. I'm sorry. I was too busy on it. Okay, I see it now. I was too busy on it to even see it. That's how I missed it. Because you know how I'd start getting off on 100 topics, and then you know how I get off on 100 topics, and then I start mm. Woo! You know how I get off on them 100 topics. So anyway, before I distract myself again, please go to the top of the chat and click on that link where there is another Sussex friendly space minus the and Hold the Anyway, thank you, Lydia Washington, for the uh for the super chat. Yes, thank you for the super chat. Now I'm gonna have a complex. This person with 3 subscribers has just given me a complex. How dare you? How dare you? And to call me boring, that's what I take exception to. Boring? How dare you? How dare you? Boring. Boring. Like you got something so much better to do. If you had something better to do, you would have been watching Royal Sussex. About to make me cuss. If you had so much to do, how did you find Royal Sussex? Huh? I'm and you. Mamie Riggs, thank you so much for the super sticker. Whew. Lord have mercy. Some people They find the most bizarre things, the littlest, tiniest thread to pull upon, and next thing you know, you have become a piranha amongst content creators. Let me see here. Now I have been turned into a piranha. Now it's been turned into a piranha. I don't like that. Anyway, yes, this is the most attention that they've had in a long, long time. So, let me see. What was I gonna say? Ooh, I'm doing it for real now because I done lost track. Uh, okay, I'll move that over there. Let me see here. Okay, so that one was for real. Let me see. What's that? Oh, Denise Marcus. Hold on a second. There we go. I want to make sure I highlight that. There we go. Baron, I've listened to you since you had that long name. And oh, you mean that I know the original name of the channel? Gosh, that name was long. It was. I don't even. Okay, what was it called back then? It was called Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Success. That was the original name of the channel, Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Success. It was a long name, and then I changed it. That was when I had like 5 videos. Let's see. Oh, Connie Balmer. Thank you so much for the super chat. See there? Now I got everybody doing it. I do apologize in advance because it's really bad. You're going to find yourself in a very sensitive situation when there should be a certain level of dignity and a serious tone, and you're going to find yourself going, Oh, by the way, someone sent me a buy me a coffee earlier today. Let me see. It just says someone. That's who bought 3 coffees, I think it is. My sincere condolences, Baron, to you and your family. May Almighty God comfort you and your family peace. Well, thank you so much for the 3 coffees. Greatly appreciate it. Okay. Now, let me take that away and go to the next thing. See you, D. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? So, one of my nephews, yeah, one of my nephews is doing stuff with, art online and or with the what do you call it? I guess the different apps and everything. So he offered to make something for me. So I sent him one of the Royal Sussex blue and white logos, but I told him it didn't have to necessarily be blue and white. But anyway, he says this is a rough draft, and I love it. I love the gold. I don't know. Maybe I should think about doing a contrast of gold and the like deep blue. But yeah, that is beautiful. Oh, thank you, Mamie Rex. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. It was, but everybody in the family seems to be coping, very well, with the exception of obviously a couple of people closest to my aunt, the children, of course. So, but it's been some good. I think the good memories has helped a whole lot. It has helped a lot. So, Arrangements have been made, and so yeah, we're got a better idea of how the ceremony and everything is going to go. So, but thank you so much for that. Uh, oh, absolutely. That is my family is a hoot. That's all I can say is my family is a hoot. So, thank you very much for the super chat. Or were you speaking about that person that was so hypercritical of the ums? But either way, thank you so much for the super chat. Okay. Oh, Cookies and Cream is in the house and wants to say hi to a few people. Let me see. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially when you consider families just well, at least for my family is not as big as I recall when I was a kid. You know, a lot of people just are not having as many children nowadays. So the very big extended family that I knew in my childhood just is not here anymore. So that is very sobering. It definitely makes holidays look very different. I don't know if anybody else has experienced that, but it definitely makes the holidays look very, very different. But thank you so much for that. Okay. Now, here we go again. Word salad. The vice president has been accused yet again of word salad. And this is a very serious thing. And I do not like it. It is a way to undermine. I want you to know that the gaslighting, the brainwashing has been elevated to a new level. And also, the Daily Fail on occasion was using some of the most painfully, um, shall we say, disturbingly tinted, um, tweaked, edited photos of Kamala Harris. And it was very jarring to look at. The lighting or the tinting of the photo was so bad. And it was done deliberately, of course, to make her look sinister and aged and haggard and such. And one of their other continuous attacks on the vice president is word salad. Now, I'm bothered by this because I've seen it used on the vice president. I've seen it used on the Duchess of Sussex. And I'm sure they've used it on other people. But I'm wondering, you know, even though that's not a very large sample, is this something reserved for educated, empowered, independent Black women? Is that what the word salad is about? Also, I have noticed that there is a constant attack on women of color anytime they use their voices. I am very triggered by that. I don't like it. I am very triggered by that. It is always the best and the brightest that they feel this need to go after them and tear them down and try to convince people that their mouths are moving, but nothing is coming out. Yeah, well, it's kind of hard to miss it. It is very hard to miss it. And I remember the one the black congresswoman from Florida, and one of the Republican guys had referred to her as a empty drum or empty barrel or something like that. meaning that there is a very loud noise and it doesn't mean something like I forgot what that means, but empty drum, empty barrel, whatever it was to demean that congresswoman. How did the vice president reach that office, serve as a United States senator? We have seen Vice President Harris. We have seen Senator Harris. We have seen, well, we know of the prosecutor. I can't say that I've seen her on any footage, to be honest, but we know that Kamala is very capable of picking someone apart using the English language and exposing them as liars and charlatans and whatever else they are, grifters and con artists. We know that she is gifted at that. We have seen her speak, but they want they're trying to plant this or try to make you internalize this idea that she's so confused and idle-minded and thick that she doesn't know what she says and she doesn't speak logically, when nothing can be further for the truth. And I'm so disappointed with the people that I have been seeing. And I know this is all part of the gimmick, part of the gaslighting. But I'm seeing so many young African American people on television and on social media saying the worst things. And it is so illogical and ill conceived and just wrong. Just wrong. My only fear at the start of this campaign season, which is, a very long process, is that there would be the targeting of people through social media. And that's exactly what happened. And I do believe the reason that an eccentric billionaire purchased Twitter was to use the software, to use what was available to target vulnerable people through the algorithm, using their search engine to target people so that they can inundate them with a lot of negative, stereotypical information to sway them to vote, or even worse, to discourage them and to cause them to stay home. In the 2016 election, do remember it was 78,000 votes divided across 5 states that determined that election, which means they only needed to make sure that 80,000, let's say 80,000 people that would have voted against Donald Trump, they just needed to make sure they stayed home. And that's what's so sinister about the technology. And I do believe that this election is being decided by the algorithm, by artificial intelligence, by repetition, repeating the same lies over and over again. I keep hearing that. I keep hearing that. I keep hearing that, and it is very disappointing. It's very disappointing. Anyone who would ignore January the 6th is illogical to me. If you could ignore January the 6th, if you're going to downplay the events of January the 6th, 2021. That is just the most unpatriotic and un American thing that anyone could do. Whether you believe in either party or either candidate, that shouldn't even matter. But what you should know and what you should push back against is the candidate that disrupted the certification, the peaceful transfer of power, the bedrock of the presidency, the peaceful transfer of power. That was disrupted. And anyone who is capable of causing that to happen is the stuff of nightmares. And we have an opportunity to rid ourselves of that diabolical person for good. And yet they have gone to the usual blue wall, and that is the black community, and wreaked havoc. It's like the crack epidemic. Everyone knows someone in their household who has been subject to this awful chemical, and families are being divided because of it. And now it's happening again because a new toxin has been injected into the community, and that is the Republican talking points, the right wing talking points. They are asking for more qualifications from the more qualified candidate than they require from a two bid real estate agent. And this accomplished candidate has been reduced to word salad. Entitled Anderson Cooper, there's another buzzword. That means rich, white, and not conservative. That means that he is a soft, liberal, white man. Entitled Anderson Cooper, slammed for infuriating Kamala Harris town hall. That means they did not like that the vice president was able to speak decisively and logically on camera, and that masses of people who say they're undecided voters were able to hear her clearly and hopefully decide to vote for the vice president. Head in clouds, Kamala Harris accused of worst word salad yet with bizarre explanation about constellations. Again, look at the photo. They choose a photo, the most unflattering they could find. And of course, I don't even know if this is from that actual event. And the woman that I have referred to as the albino assassin, and that's that Maureen Callahan, fatuous, irrelevant, and no sense of purpose. What a fitting backdrop Manhattan's woman of vision made for the vapid Lamarco herself. Fellow guest Maureen Callahan's sparkling account of Meghan's word salad gala appearance. So I don't know if Maureen Callahan lives in the US or not, but she went to an event that is likely something that she did not have any way of identifying with. She writes for the ultra right wing Daily Mail, but she allegedly attended this event knowing that Meghan would receive an award so that she could, and she probably had already written that. It was already written. That part, I'm sure, was already penned before she left the house that day. But again, there's that term word salad. Woke, word salad, entitled. See, when they use that language, it takes the listener to a mindset. It triggers me to know that, here comes some BS. But to people who have already determined that there's a select few individuals, public individuals, that they have contempt for, is a way to hit that switch so that they can drink in the rest. They can consume the rest of the negativity, internalize it, and therefore, every time you see the vice president or the Duchess of Sussex, you're instantly angered and triggered and skeptical and hostile. That is how this works. That is what the Republicans, the right wingers, the Brexiters, the what is it, the Tories, that is what they have depended upon for decades. And it's very effective. It's very effective. I don't know what there is to do about it except for pushback as best we can. Talk to the people you know, try to convince them. And I know for certain that some of the people that say that they're going to vote for that orange menace are probably not even registered. It's too late to register, and they're not going to vote anyway. But they're going to use their voices to discourage others. They're going to use their voices to discourage others. A lot of those critical people are going to wake up and say, "Oh, I ain't got time to go down there. Maybe when I get off from work," if they work. And then take a look at the bottom one. That was in the Mirror. Meghan Markle baffles fan with brand's word salad name that clunky and a mouthful. Yeah, that's clunky and a mouthful, which comes after the soft launch of American Riviera Orchard. So there you go. They're trying to poison. They're trying to poison American Riviera Orchard. Well, they've been doing that. But yeah, this is a very dangerous thing. Very dangerous. And because most people are in an echo chamber and we only listen to a small circle of commentators, content creators, news channels, radio, podcasts, everyone has their very small group of people that they listen to, family included, friends, that is very difficult for any voice of reason to get through. Very difficult. I saw this young lady on some video that's from TikTok or wherever it was from that pretty much compared the vice president to, let's just say, a woman who has fallen from grace. And that is the reason why I could never support her. I'd be very interested to know what entertainers or what public figures that young lady looks up to. I would love to know that, because if she's so pious and so judgmental about the vice president, surely she feels that way about her closest friends, her parents, her siblings, everyone. But nope, it was reserved for the black woman. This is really troubling. Now, that being said, I am a bit encouraged because most of these polls are fake. Do know that most of these polls are fake. When you see the headline that says that there's new polls, I think the last time I heard 6 polls that has been crucial and has elevated Donald Trump. Don't believe it. Do not be discouraged to vote. Vote now if you can, but vote. Do not be discouraged. They want you to be demoralized and discouraged, and they want you to stay home. It's the usual playbook. Jill Stein, add to the mix Robert Kennedy Jr. The only thing that's missing is Ralph Nader. But they have hijacked the algorithm. They have hijacked social media. And I'm going to tell you guys this again. I know there's a lot of you guys that are, oh, I don't go on TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. They're afraid of TikTok because they can't control it. And I'm not saying that there isn't some foreign input or strategy there. Well, let me tell you something. There are 330 million Americans, and I don't know what they could do with your viewing habits that they can use against you that is not already happening with other platforms. There's not someone in some control room in China that's trying to figure out when do you get your social security check. That's not happening. The only reason why we know so much about what has happened in Gaza and the West Bank is because of the TikTok kids. And because the mainstream media has no control over their message, the next best thing is to say, oh, it's Chinese, it's bad. We have smart TVs from China that are watching everything you do. We have phones, we have computers. There's so many things that's coming from China that can watch everything you're doing. I'm just saying, I can't think of anything that's happening with TikTok. And listen, I don't have a presence on TikTok. I don't have any skin in the game, but I know the BS. I know the strategy is to use the fear of China, the fear of others, to shut down these young people that are given they're exchanging some very, very good information. They're trying to make people accountable. And that's why they want to get rid of TikTok. TikTok is not the enemy. Why do you think that those people in Congress are sitting around, oh, TikTok, TikTok? And yet, there are so many other avenues into your personal information that has nothing to do with TikTok. Now, if that doesn't sound, like I know what I'm talking about, pay no attention to it. But they need to obstruct. They need to block. They need to challenge any any um any information that is not helpful to the unseen hand. Okay, they're trying to shut those kids down, and I have so much respect for some of those content creators that have literally risked their lives for the sake of the people in Gaza. They're risking their lives. Americans that have been blacklisted because of it. That lets you know right there why they're complaining about TikTok. Fortunately, we're going to get a rest after the election, after the battle in court to figure out who won the election. By January, what is it, January the 20th, 21st, when they swear in whoever wins the election, our blood pressure may be a bit elevated or we may be very relieved, but whatever the case is, we'll do it all over again, hopefully 4 years from now, if we still have elections 4 years from now. All of that is going to be decided on election day. All of that will be decided election day. And then the battle will rage until inauguration day. And I think it's going to be more what happens after election day than what happens on election day. But a lot of it will be decided on election day. But don't be discouraged by all of this negativity. The reason why there is so much projection of hate and hostility is because those right wingers are losing. They're desperate, which is what makes them so dangerous. By 2050, 2035, the United States of America is going to be browner than it's ever been before. Europe is going to be browner than it's ever been before. Those empires that invaded the motherland, that has invaded Asia, that has stripped wealth out of India, Africa, Asia, wherever they have landed. Now they're worried that people that they subjugated, the land that they colonized, that the people are going the other way. And that's what this panic is all about. Things are getting just too dark for their taste. And so the battle continues. But you cannot fight this battle by yourself. If it gets too much for you, switch it off. Switch it off. You don't have to keep running to the television to look at the latest poll. If you voted, then you've done the first thing that you can do. After that, turn it off. If it's too much for you, turn it off. If Royal Sussex is too much for you, turn it off. Protect your mental health. That is so important. I don't watch MSNBC anymore. CNN, I don't watch them. Occasionally, I see some little video here or there. But if you start following those polls, you are going to slip down that rabbit hole. And on the other side of it is something very different from reality. And you're going to feel anxious, afraid. You may even cry, or you can just switch it off. Watch a Turner Classic. Watch Emily in Paris. Find something to escape. Don't do that to yourself. If you want, turn it on election day. But between now and election day, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. So why put all that pressure on yourself? It's not your battle alone. And again, these young people, I'm so proud. I am in awe of a lot of these young people that are and when you hear somebody say, "Oh, if we ever had to go to war again, these young people they're too soft, they're too this, they're too that." Look at Ukraine. Look at Ukraine. Look at those kids that use their skill of playing video games and created a network of drones that has the Pentagon going, I think we could use that. Okay? Don't ever discount, don't ever doubt what these young people are capable of. They're smart, they're resilient, and they get it. Do not doubt these young people. And I tell you, I've seen so many of them that are so much smarter and more capable than I was at that age. So don't doubt them. They got this. Yeah, the polls are made to demoralize and push people and to make them afraid. But mostly it's always about for the Democrats is who shows up. And for the Republicans is who can they keep home. If there's a large voter turnout, which there will be, that always benefits the Dems. Always. Always. Now, I can't say anything for the Electoral College, but as a rule, if there's a large turnout, the Democrats usually are the ones that benefit the most. The expert on elections that have guessed every elections for 40 years says, don't pay attention to the polls. Why do you think I'm spending so much time on this topic? I'm not trying to just convince myself, but I know you all, and I know quite a few of you are afraid, are not sleeping, very emotional, and I'm telling you to stop it. Because whatever happens is pretty much decided already. Everybody knows who they're going to vote for. They're doing all this to try to make people stay home. There's no such thing as an undecided. They're doing all of this to make people stay home. Don't fall for the okey doke. Don't get into a conversation with someone who hasn't voted yet and talk them out of voting. And I don't mean that you don't want them to, but if you're sitting there having those negative conversations and those dreading, then you may have actually helped that person decide to not even bother. Can't afford to do that. Stay on message. Stay positive. Okay. Okay, I'll take a look at a couple of your comments. Yes, Connie Bomber, anxiety is what they're using against us. That is what they're using against us is anxiety, fear. Thank you, Francilia Mosley. Older people are always more likely to vote than anybody else. Yeah, from your mouth to God's ear. Absolutely. I believe it's going to happen. I really do believe it's going to happen. I believe we're going to have our first woman president. I believe that most of this uh, pushback that we're getting right now is desperation. I feel as though the right wing is very desperate right now. And as a result of it, they are pushing and they are pushing hard. I believe on election day, there's a lot of people that are going to vote their conscience and they are going to vote for the vice president, making her the first woman president of the United States. I do believe that. Now, there's going to be a lot of trickery. We're not going to know anything in all likelihood. We're not going to know anything on election night. However, I do hope, I do pray that Kamala is the projected winner and that all of the networks will agree that she is a projected winner. But whatever happens, there's going to be some court. There's going to be court battles. There's going to be a lot of people trying to leverage influence. So that's why election night is not likely to be the end all be all. But I do believe that the Democrats have more lawyers in more places, and they also got way more money than the other person. So take that to the bank. All right. So let's go to another topic. Oh, actually, no, I wasn't finished with word salad. Oh, yeah. This is what I wanted to say. One of the biggest offenders, I Googled uh, Kate Middleton word salad. There wasn't much to be found because she's not a threat. The reason why they're so, it's not just hate, but they're afraid of the Duchess of Sussex. That's why she has been targeted so heavily, is because they're intimidated and they're afraid. They're punishing her for being brilliant. But they're not afraid of this jointed doll that you can dress with whatever clothes, wigs, lashes. They're not afraid of her. That's why it is so inconsequential whether she could speak or not. Nobody cares because they don't expect anything from her. That's why she's not a threat. She was word salad from day one. You know I got to do it. You know I have to do it. No, don't try to stop me. I have to do this at least once a week.
Well, obviously it'd be, I would love to have met her, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman to look up to, obviously on to this day, and going forward and things. It is, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and very inspirational. So yeah, I do.
Now that's what I call word salad. That's what I call word salad. And there's that other one that I can't play anymore because I have been hit by a couple of those, things. So I haven't been able to play that one anymore. But You know which one I'm talking about with the little boy that got mixed in there. um, or can I? No, I bet not play it. Okay, yeah, I didn't mean to do that one. Okay. No, I don't see it. I don't even have it handy, so never mind. But yeah, the point is the biggest offender they don't touch because of the invisible contract. But again, it's almost a compliment that they go after Meghan because Meghan is brilliant and they are threatened by the influence that she's capable of projecting. And that is why they have targeted her. Now, it's partially because they want their Harry back, but it's also because Meghan and Harry has been targeted too, because they are very influential people. And anyone that is not a right wing nationalist, um, idle minded person, then you're likely a target of those people. So that's why they have done everything that they could to discourage anyone like Meghan with her values and her ideas about the world. Anyone like that, they try to do as much damage as possible to contain them, to discourage people from listening to them. They want to attack your credibility so that people will doubt what you say. Yeah, that is why that happens. So, in a way, it's a compliment, but unfortunately, it's also very painful and damaging, and it's very demoralizing to the people who love you the most. It's not easy to see people that you love and respect being treated so poorly. But yeah, B10 Powell, long time no see. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. Leg says, "What did her and Will talk about? I know what he wanted the for at the time, as well as his friends wanted from her. I just wonder what her true personality is like. Unfortunately, Meghan met that person and not the nice one. Yeah. Um, they have definitely uh created this fembot, this uh Stepford wife out of Kate Middleton. She had a personality a long time ago, but it has been brainwashed away. It has been brainwashed away. And because they could not break Meghan of her convictions, that of course being a feminist above all, they were uncomfortable with Meghan. That made them very uncomfortable because I mean, even the royal website proclaimed Meghan as a feminist. That was very important to her. It always has been, and it always will be. But it's not consistent with the values of the um, institution. So even though they pretend that they were okay with it, they were still plotting to chase her away. Yep, they were still plotting to chase her away. Yes, I saw that. I saw that. Ingrid Seaweed said that all Kate has to do is show up and be pretty because she's going to be queen. And that's really sad too, because there's a lot of those um, royalists, monarchists, derangers. They love to keep throwing in our faces. It doesn't matter. William will be king. It doesn't matter. Kate will be queen. But look at the state of them. Those two are the most miserable crown prince and crown princesses in Europe. They are the most miserable looking people. They look medicated. They look like they have been through shock therapy. I mean, they really look like they have been to hell and back. But it doesn't matter. You know why? Because William will be king and Kate will be queen. That's all they have to throw. That's their retort. They will be king and queen. If I have to look like that, meaning that I have to go through whatever coercion, brainwashing, manipulation that those two have gone through, well, color me peasant. I'd rather be a peasant. I'd rather be a peasant with my own mind, with my own faculties, than to be converted into some type of robot. I'm telling you, those two, William and Kate, they are in a lot of trouble. Not that I have any sympathy for them, very little, but they are in trouble. I cannot tell you because I don't know what's happening with them, but they have been hidden from view. They only come out every so often. And when they do, they are like a shell of a person. Now, there's a story there. I don't know what it is, but there's a story there. Yeah, it was Ingrid. She did say that all she has to do is look pretty because she's going to be queen. It doesn't matter. She doesn't have to speak because she's going to be queen. I saw that. I don't remember the exact context, but I saw it. She said it doesn't matter because Kate will be queen. Thank you, Legs. And that's the only thing that they have that is supposed to be the kryptonite. Anytime we say too much, that is our kryptonite, or at least what they think is our kryptonite, is Kate will be queen. William will be king. So effing what? I tell you what, they're still in trouble. I wouldn't want to be them. And the king of word salad himself. Oh, the king of word salad. It's an affront to my good nature that I am constantly hearing that the candidate that I voted for, proudly voted for, is capable or has committed word salad. Contrasting Kamala Harris with this orange faced booby. I just don't know how you can say that with a straight face. I don't know how you say that with a straight face. But again, if this is too much for you, tune it out. Those people on the cable channels, they are going to make things seem as though it's closer than what it really is. And I know some of you all voted for or supported Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders never had a chance of winning. That is something that was created by the cable networks to keep people engaged and viewing. Not only did Hillary have more voters vote for her in the primary, and this thing about the super delegates, she didn't need them because the delegates that were committed had already committed to Hillary before Obama even left office. They had already, or before, anyway, you know what I mean. They had committed years ago, years before the election. And then this is the last thing, and I keep saying this over and over again. No Democrat wins without the vote of the black woman. Never, ever. Because over 90% black women have always voted for the Democrat. And Bernie Sanders did not court the black woman's vote. And even if he did, it was already decided that the majority of black women were going to vote for Hillary Clinton, meaning that he did not have a chance. He also neglected to register in the state of New York. And they blamed the Democrats that he wasn't on the ballot. He did not register. He didn't think he was ever going to get that far. He wasn't running for president. He was running to influence the platform, which is what most of the candidates are there for, so that they will have influence on the platform by the time the convention comes. But somehow along the way, Bernie Sanders became a folk hero. And then people convinced him that he had a chance. And they were hoping that they would get a groundswell of support from the delegates. That did not happen. A groundswell of support from the Democratic electorate, the voters. That did not happen. He was not robbed, he was not cheated, and the system did nothing to him. He was the one who neglected to register in the state that he was born in. Well, whatever the case was, Legs, it didn't translate into votes. It did not translate into delegates. And I don't believe that he had a chance without the black woman vote. And most of those black women felt as though Hillary Clinton was the logical next candidate. And so it was it was doomed from the start. It really was. There was a groundswell of support, but it was never enough. She was never behind in votes. And as for the few states that he won, John Edwards? John Edwards had almost moved to the state of Iowa, and he campaigned heavily in Iowa. And John Edwards' presence was a huge factor in those first votes before he dropped out or suspended his campaign. I remember that. John Edwards had actually done the type of campaigning that Bernie should have done before election primaries started. That I remember. John Edwards divided the votes. And a lot of people still were voting for him on those ballots, even though he had withdrawn his campaign. So that was a huge factor. You cannot forget the John Edwards factor or his hair. Well, you know what, Marshar? Bernie Sanders, they they used, and when I say they targeted people based on their support of Bernie Sanders, and the they was the Republicans. It was a lot of people, a lot of foreign actors, a lot of foreign personalities on the YouTube. A lot of these, internet cafe people that were pretending to support Bernie Sanders as if they could vote for him, but they were paid. They were paid to intervene on his behalf, to sow seeds of doubt and anger. And that was the first big election, the first national election where it is very obvious the algorithm played a huge part in the outcome of the election. No matter who you supported, no matter who won and who lost, it was the algorithm that decided that election. They used Bernie Sanders' criticisms of Hillary. He's the one who first said the system is rigged. And what happened? It became a Republican talking point. It was a mess. It was a mess. The thing is, he stayed in too long, and there was too much damage that was being done to Hillary's campaign. And even if Hillary was the worst person in the world, there's still Donald Trump. She was still running against Donald Trump. And they're using those same tactics against Kamala Harris. The very same thing. That she's weak, she can't stand up to Putin, the world is laughing at her. They're using the same tactics. I'm literally looking at the playbook again. They're using the very same tactics. So, I can only call it as I see it. And that is my recollection. As we all know, recollections may vary, but that was my recollections of 2016. I do believe that there was some false hope that was created that was damaging to Hillary. And saying this, I know this is going to turn a lot of people off, and some of you may decide, oh, I don't want to watch Royal Sussex no more. I'm just telling you the truth as I know it. Bernie Sanders did not have a chance to win. It was never going to happen. And the cable networks sold a lot of false hope to the Democrats. And all they had to do, okay, I swear this is going to be the last thing I say about this tonight. How does Hillary Clinton go from the most admired woman in America for 20 years straight? She was tied with Michelle Obama. All those years, the most admired woman in America. And then all of a sudden, she's running some ring out of a pizzeria, and people believed it. How does that happen? And now she has been tainted so bad by those same dark forces that has targeted the Duchess of Sussex. Those same dark forces that have targeted the vice president. And it's happening again. Yeah, well, that goes right to what I was saying about discouragement, because they damaged Hillary's reputation so bad that it discouraged people from voting. Up until election day, they will put false information out there. They will threaten people with jail if you have ever this or that. Do not try to vote, otherwise you could be arrested. And they believe it. Yes, an independent. And people say, well, he's an independent, um, but he always caucus with the Democrats. So don't care about that. The point is, caucus or no caucus, um, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I didn't went there again, and I promised myself the last time I wasn't going to do that. But I'm still very frustrated by 2016. Very frustrated because I could see what was happening. I could see the false hope that was being created, and the television networks, the cable news, they all played along with it. And it's happening again. Okay, King Charles and Queen Camilla just recreated Meghan and Harry's famous Sydney Opera House photo. Did they? Well, only to a point, because that's one angle. But if you look at the other angle, what you can see here is that poor old pensioner could barely make it up the steps. Her feet were swollen so bad they looked like balloons. She was in bad shape. Oh, her feet were just not good for this world. King Charles and Queen Camilla stunned crowds at the Sydney Opera House, but in the end, it was all too much for her. Yeah, it was. She was in absolute sheer, searing pain. Maybe something got caught in her hoof. I don't know. But this is not the first. I don't know. It's something about going to Australia. Look at that. Queen Camilla took off her shoes when she and King Charles left the Opera House and went back to Admiralty House, clearing a long day. And we understand that need to be barefoot after wearing uncomfortable shoes all day. Yeah, right. Because she's not an aristocrat, because she lacks breeding, or it's just because she's a bit of a cow. That's all. She was never meant to be the focal point of any type of international fame or attention. That wasn't her lot in life. She's one of those slick hustlers that maneuvers behind the scenes, securing wealth for her children, and just a manipulator. She wasn't meant to be out front. In ancient times, she would likely have been pulling a cart like an oxen, not sitting on a throne. The Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall visit Australia, day 5. Sydney, Australia, blah, 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 November. This is, of course, from 2012. This is from 2012. Well, anyway, you get it. She had to come out of those shoes. But I tell you what, look at the size of those shoes. Do you see those gunboats that Charles had? And you know, Charles' hands are humongous. Now, this is back in 2012. What was that? 12 years ago. 12 years ago. Look at the size of those shoes. You could literally row, you could paddle yourself across the harbor in those shoes. There are people who could literally use those shoes to find their way to shelter, to safety and shelter. They are gigantic. Oh, by the way, Legs, I'm sorry. Thank you so much for the super chat. There we go. But they are huge, massive shoes. Why do I feel like there should be a ficus tree growing out of one of those shoes? I feel like you could put a bed of flowers and then just sit it like on either. Yeah, fill them with some flowers. Plant some flowers and just place it on either side of the entrance at Balmoral or something like that. I'm actually surprised that Charles is actually carrying the shoes himself, but well, they say she doesn't like to travel far. And Ingrid Seaweed said that she is prone to her feet swelling. But that's because she never breaks her shoes in because she doesn't do anything. I tell you, Queen Elizabeth, Saks Fifth Avenue. Queen Camilla, the Queen Consort, Temu. Clearly Temu. Isn't that cute? A picture of Harry and Meghan with Legos. This was actually posted by one of the squatties. I thought it was pretty cool. The way that they were able to capture the color, the light and shadow is incredible. You could see the green of the plants at the sunken garden, the blue, navy blue jacket, and of course the subtle shading of Harry's hair and both of their faces. Absolutely incredible. That is amazing. I believe it's Legos. I do believe it's Legos. I mean, you could just about see the roundness of it. It looks like they're using just the one peg blocks or single peg blocks. That's what I'm guessing. Yeah. So I'm going to say it's Lego blocks. But anyway, that was what the caption said. Okay, I'm looking at it on a bigger screen, and I promise you I see Legos. Plus, there's toys in the background. That's another telltale. I know, isn't it adorable? Oh boy, these two. So this is a article that was written by J.P. Knobel. It says, William's weakness. Why does a future king still need his little brother? Isn't it about time that Prince William grew up? The endless stories circulating about his anxiety and need for Prince Harry to return as his wingman are becoming tiresome. William, a grown man in his 40s, father of 3 children, and supposedly the future king of the United Kingdom, is still being painted as someone too fragile to stand on his own 2 feet. Where is his wife, Kat? In all of this, isn't she supposed to be his rock? Well, you know what happened with rocks? You end up stepping on them, and then you realize that you almost fell. And so, out of frustration, you pick up the rock and throw it. Either that or you kick it over back into the rest of the gravel, right? That's what happens with rocks. Okay, but I digress. The notion that William, who has enjoyed every privilege life can offer, is still pinning his younger brother to hold his hand is not only absurd, but utterly pathetic. He's not a lonely schoolboy in need of his sibling to fend off bullies. He's a man with a crown in his future, married to a woman who has been praised constantly in the British press for her poise and supposed strength. Whoever wrote this, I love this person. Let me take a sip of water. Anyway, why are they? I'm sorry. So, why are we hearing that Prince William needs Harry to prop him up? What does that say about his marriage? Shouldn't Kathy, with her years of royal training and stoic demeanor, be the one he turns to for support? Why isn't she enough? The constant barrage of these stories, clearly designed to guilt Harry into abandoning his own wife and children, is not only insulting but deeply manipulative. It's an emotional blackmail that expects Harry to sacrifice his own happiness to rescue his brother who refuses to stand on his own. And why should he? William has everything: status, power, and a picture perfect family. If he can't manage without Harry by his side, then one has to seriously question his fitness for the role he's destined for. As future king, too weak to lead without his brother isn't a future king at all. The palace and the press that echoes its sentiments need to stop infantilizing William and start holding him accountable. He's not a boy anymore. He has a wife, he has a family. If Kate can't provide him with the emotional support he supposedly needs, then maybe the problem lies not with Harry's absence, but with the Cambridge household itself. After all, Harry is not some eternal crutch for his brother to lean on every time it's going to get tough. He has his own life, his own responsibilities, and most importantly, his own family who deserves his undivided attention. It's time William realized that. It's time to grow up. Stop the sob stories and act like a leader he's supposed to be. Or maybe, just maybe, the wrong brother was destined for the throne all along. Okay. Are you picking up what they're putting down? They got the wrong one, boo. They got the wrong one. But when things look murky, when things are, shall we say, uncertain, one thing you can count on with those Windsors, they certainly know how to turn a sausage. And I imagine that Willie Windsor is very expert at sausage turning. That's right. Very expert. The only thing he handles better than sausages are pulled pork sandwiches. Yeah. He has never met a pulled pork sandwich he didn't like. And I imagine Willie Windsor can find his way around a sausage or two. Yeah. The Windsors fail and then yeah. Isn't it interesting? Isn't that a coinky dink? Oh, now there's someone who knows their way around a sausage. Yeah, someone who has a black belt in handling sausages, someone who is destined to make the most out of a wiener. And that, of course, is the queen consort. Her feet may be throbbing with pain. And yes, she may remind you of an old foghorn, but she still knows her way around a sausage. And don't you forget it. Don't you forget it. And of course, like father, like son, and of course, like grandfather, like grandson. Now, I think someone was trying to send a message when they superimposed William's image with that of Prince Philip. I still don't know exactly what they were trying to tell us, but I'm sure there's a message there somewhere. Yeah, I'm sure there's a message there somewhere. Look at how good Philip looked compared to his grandson, who has turned into the Duke of Kent. Who has turned into the Duke of Kent, present Duke of Kent, not when he was younger, who has turned into the Duke of Kent. Well, one thing about this visit is that it has brought the Australian Republicans closer together, closer than ever. It has truly brought them together. They have gotten new membership. They've gotten to know more about the strategy to rid themselves of those Windsors once and for all. Yes, they broke bread, they laughed, they had meetings. Let me see, Graham Smith, where is he? Well, there he is with the yellow shirt and the light blue shorts there. And I do believe he's in that group shot there somewhere. And let me see, is he here? I think he's in that group shot. I think so. And there he is, I think maybe third or fourth from the left, mid row. That's Graham Smith right there. So, maybe this is something that is going to sweep through the entirety of the Commonwealth. Maybe. Good day. Good day. Good day. Now, I'm kind of disappointed that Robert CPAP Jobson did not attend this tour. Some people said it because there wasn't enough room on the plane. Some people said it was because he's a freelancer and that he doesn't have a regular gig that is going to pay for him and for the seatbelt extender that's necessary for travel. And then the other thing is, who's going to feed him? You know what I mean? It's bad enough they got to feed Rebecca English. So who's going to feed him? That is very expensive. You know how many Happy Meals that are required to keep Robert Jobson feeling secure and productive? A lot. But if there's anything that I thought would have made this trip pleasant for Robert Jobson, look at the size of those chairs back there. At least I know he would have been comfortable. At least we know that they have furniture that comes in, Robert Jobson's side, instead of in that video where it looked like he was about to slip off the end of that chair. You know what I'm saying? It looked like he was about to slip off the end of that chair. At least we know he would have been comfortable.
write in the book about when they try to force that Fab Four thing on us during the Queen's death, that sort of fake walkabout when they're supposed to be together, that Kate said to another member of the royal family that it was one of the hardest things she ever had to do. Now, then immediately on Twitter you get all those Sussex troll idiots saying, well, you need to get out more if that's the hardest thing she ever done. The point of it is that it was a very difficult.
So, there we go. So at least we know, I know po-chair. Because you know what? The next person who sat in the chair would have probably rolled back into it. They probably would have had their feet dangling off the end because of that new crater that was introduced to the chair. So you're right. I think that may have been problematic. But yeah. Plus, what if he forgot the converter for his CPAP? The plugs, I don't know what type of plugs they use down there, but I suppose he could have purchased an adapter. Yes. Yeah. The Kenyan reporters, they said that they were not allowed to ride on the bus with the reporters from the Royal Rota. And also they said that not only were they given boxed lunches and the Royal Rota had a buffet, but they said somebody, Robert Joseph, oh, excuse my sinuses. They said someone, almost like a Disney fairy tale. Wow, somebody's been eating my box lunch too. Somebody's eating part of my box lunch. Well, somebody ate my box. Oh, wait, that sounds weird. I got a little carried away, but you know what I mean. You know what I meant to say. Anyway, okay, next. Oh boy. We're going back to ancient times, aren't we? I am torn about this image because I do realize that there are certain customs and norms that we may not be aware of, or perhaps we're not comfortable with those things. However, it just still looks rather out of place and out of date in the year 2024. And it seems like Queen Camilla, the Queen Consort, seems to be very pleased with this exalted status that she has on said royal tour. Like right now, I'm sure that somewhere in Samoa, that someone is trying to find a coconut shell large enough to carve a pair of shoes for the Queen Consort. I say one need not bother because it ain't going to fit. One ought to just sacrifice one of those beautiful handcrafted canoes and present that to the Queen Consort. 2 of them. A right canoe and a left canoe. You know what I mean? A right canoe and a left canoe. And then, and I say only then, will they be able to accommodate the Queen Consort and her massive, massive feet. So, but yeah, the coconut shells, not nearly large enough. Maybe a tortoise shell. Maybe if they can find one of those 300-year-old tortoises, maybe one of those shells. Well, if they find a pair of them, that might work. But I say either a fallen tree or a couple of canoes will do in a pinch. Yeah, that's true. He's never going back to Australia. Um, at a certain age, the Queen stopped going doing international travel, and Charles is approaching that age, much like the Queen, where you have to cease the international travel. The Queen, I don't think she, gosh, when was the last? Well, the Queen went to Australia. I think her last time was in 2011, was it? But then at a certain point, she stopped the international travel. No trips abroad. And that's not a reference to the Queen consort. I said abroad. No trips abroad. Not with broad. Abroad. Oh, you guys, I'm on fire tonight. I'm just on fire. Where do I get them from? Well, whatever it is, I refuse to accept boring. None of us can change the past. King Charles backed Keir Starmer in effectively ruling out paying billions in reparations for slavery to Commonwealth nations, instead pledging to learn lessons and right inequities, that is, that endure. So, I stand corrected. The broad. Wasn't there a television show back in the 70s called Broad? Wasn't it? With B. Arthur? And then there's Broad, and then there's Broad, and then there's Broad, and then there's Broad, and then there's wrinkled, big feet, and sneaky, manipulating, backstabbing, right on Broad. Yeah, I think that was the words to the theme song. Yeah. Then there's Broad, and then there's Broad. Listen, you all go back and tell that person that was so critical that I am not boring. I've never been boring. Ever. Anyway, sad news tonight. Jack Jones, dead at 86. Grammy winning singer of the Love Boat theme song, passes away. Now, I tell you, that was one of my favorite television theme songs. Now, of course, and this is not a democracy, if I say it, then it's got to be true with this one particular item. The best television theme song ever, The Jeffersons. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. It was The Jeffersons. That is the best television theme song in history. There's never been one greater. I always said if I won the lottery, that my doorbell would play the Jeffersons theme. Yep. When I ring the doorbell, or when someone rings the doorbell, all of a sudden you're going to hear the Jeffersons. And whenever I start my Bentley, my Rolls Royce, then you would hear the theme song of Dynasty. Yeah. My Bentley or my Rolls Royce would play the Dynasty theme song. And my doorbell would play the Jeffersons. Oh, I loved Amen. I loved Amen. That turn on your light forevermore. Shine on me. Shine your light. Put me on the right road. Help me find my way. Ooh, Oh, they was jamming. They were jamming. That is a good song. No, that was a great song. That was a great song. But I'm just a little partial to the Jeffersons. But that is a great song. I mean, every time I hear it, I perk up. I perk up. So okay, that one's good. That was good. Look at what happened to me. I can't believe it myself. Suddenly I'm up on top of the world. It should have been somebody else. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me. Okay, you done got me started. Look like the start of a new day. Happened right out of the blue. Okay. Living single. I don't even remember that theme song. All in the Family is up there for me. Okay. When you knew what you wanted. Goyles were Goyles and men were men. Mister, we can use a man like Hoybert Hoover again. Didn't need no welfare state. Everybody pulled his weight. Gee, the old LaSalle ran great. Those were the days. Now, I know I'm going to get some heat for this, but I've always said that the greatest sitcom, situation comedy, was All in the Family. For its groundbreaking approach to comedy and some very heavy topics that we are still discussing today, I always put them as the number one sitcom ever. So, sorry, that's just how I feel. I feel like every sitcom thereafter was somehow made possible, especially those with very serious topics, was made possible because of All in the Family. So that's just how I feel about it. I know other people may have other ideas, but I just thought it was the most groundbreaking thing ever. The very first time that All in the Family aired, they actually aired with a disclaimer warning people. There's no place like home. With your family around you, you're never alone. No, no. Ain't no place like better believe it. Ain't no place like better believe, 'cause there ain't no place like, there's no place like home. I mean, no place, child. Oh, yeah, I think All in the Family had more spin-offs than any other television show. Let me give you the roll call. And this is the best I can remember. There was All in the Family, The Jeffersons, Maude, um, and then of course Florence had her show. And for a very short time, Gloria had her show. And then of course there was Archie Bunker's Place. So we're up to 6. And then there was a show called 704 Hauser Street, right? Oh, and Good Times. Don't forget Good Times, because Good Times was a spinoff of a spinoff, because Maud was Edith's cousin, right? And when they saw how good B. Arthur was, they said, how come she doesn't have a show? So then B. Arthur got Maud, and Maud had a maid named Florence Evans, Mrs. Evans. However, Mrs. Evans, Florence, was married to Henry Evans. But when they created Good Times, there was never any reference to Maud, and Henry Evans became James Evans. So that's at least 9 spinoffs that comes from All in the Family. And I might be forgetting one, but it had a heck of a lot of spinoffs. And of course, let's not forget, and I loved me some Mary Tyler Moore. Mary Tyler Moore had Phyllis, Rhoda, and Lou Grant. Lou Grant went on to be a very serious show that was an hour long, but the editor, the character of Lou Grant, continued to a show about a newspaper. It was loosely based on the Washington Post. So that's at least 3 spinoffs from Mary Tyler Moore. Rhoda, Phyllis, Lou Grant. I'm trying to think if there were another. I think that was it. Hey, M. Covington. I'm sorry, not N. M. Covington. Give me a break. The game is survival. Give me a break and plan my arrival. Give me a break, for heaven's sakes. What happened to my piece of the cake? Now, in order to sing that, you have to pinch your nose. If you want to sound like Nell Carter, you have to pinch your nose. Give me a break. I sure deserve it. See what I mean? You have to hold your nose if you want to give the Nell Carter sound. Give me a break. The game is survival. See what I mean? Okay, you guys, you have tricked me down memory lane again. This is the last thing I have for you. Take a look there. Someone has created the scariest jack-o'-lanterns ever. Those are the most frightening jack-o'-lanterns. It's not a monstrous face that is making me so nervous right now. It's that thing that you see every time you get into your ICE vehicle. That is the internal combustion engine vehicle. That, of course, is, well, I'll give you guys a chance to name them in order. From top to bottom, what are those symbols? Do 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 do. Boom, boom. Okay, from top to bottom, in its entirety, I believe legs is the first one that has them all. That is the check engine, check oil, check temperature, and check battery. That is absolutely correct. There are no prizes, but you have major street cred. Major street cred. But yes, those are the frightening symbols that you see on the dashboard of your car. check engine, check the oil, check that temperature, and check that battery. Well, thank you for playing. I really do appreciate it. Anyway, you guys, we had some very interesting topics tonight, and I do thank you all for your participation. Um, I don't want to be right about anything as much as I just want some peace of mind where the leadership of this country is concerned. We have all suffered through the worst mental gymnastics that we could have ever have had during peacetime. It's almost like 9/11 has happened every day since that monster went gliding down that escalator. And we will get through this. We will get through this. But again, I'm going to remind you to tune out if you feel your mental health may be at stake. Tune out. We don't need you to fight the battle for all of us. It's not your place to do that. It's not necessary. If you want to go out and canvass for votes and such, do it. But the polls are there to demoralize and discourage. So again, I say, tune it out. If you need something to do, it is still 8 shopping days to my birthday. You like the way I segued that in there? It is still 8 shopping days to my birthday, or you can send a card or something like that. I am registered at Bloomingdale's. I'm just kidding. I'm not registered at Bloomingdale's. But yeah, if you need something to do, go and spend some time with your friends or take a walk or something. But don't sit home wringing your hands and in anguish about things that you cannot control. There's some very powerful people that have decided things before you woke up 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You're laying in bed, you wake up and made some huge decision without you. And that's just the way it goes. So okay. Oh, what is that? Is that the Amazon shopping list? Let me put that at the top of the chat. There we go. There we go. That's the Amazon shopping list. Okay. Yes, I am done, you guys. So thank you very much. Thank you for hanging out, and thank you for sharing your point of views and your opinions. Each and every one is valid as the next. So don't be afraid to disagree or to fight your corner or stand your ground. It's necessary. It's necessary. We all learn and grow from each other, or grow from one another. Okay. What am I looking for? Okay, I know what it is. Okay. If you have sent a letter from north of the border, I did receive it. I won't say from who or anything, but I did receive it. And I just have to go and pick it up. But I did receive it. And I love getting international mail. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, I just wanted to say that I did receive it. Well, it has been received, but I just haven't picked it up yet. So it seemed like it's been there for 2 days. So that did get through. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Hi, Rosa Roberts. Hello. Thank you so much for being here. Madeline, what a beautiful name. Thank you for being here. Okay. The next Royal Sus. Oh, let me show it to the people who haven't seen it yet. You know, I was gonna, at the very least, I was gonna use it in the slides, but I don't know. Um, I don't know if the contrast is strong enough to use for the profile picture, but you'll definitely see it again and again because I love it. And supposedly this is a rough draft, so he's going to make some new ones for me. I told him some of the things that I liked and some of the symbols and stuff. So let's see what he comes up with. But yeah, you have not seen the last of this one though, because I will use it again. But isn't that beautiful? Gosh, I love that. It's so regal. Royal Sussex. Yes, it is so regal. That is beautiful. I feel like I should like make some keychains or something out of it. Wouldn't that be fun? Um, I have been trying to build up the courage to ask one of the moderators to help me with something, and I don't know. We're all so busy and everything, but I'm not the most organized person. But for the people that have the memberships or some of the long-term supporters, I was hoping to create some gifts to, um, you know, give to some of the people that have really helped build Royal Sussex. And if I could just find one of the moderators that can, help me with that, if they got time. But if not, then I guess they could just not reply to this very bizarre um, request. But because they so organized and all. But I have actually started working on that myself. But I'm not the most organized person. But if there was someone who, you know, was such a trusted member of the community, that would be very, very helpful. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I had some ideas. I don't know, like a little tote bag and some other stuff, but yeah, nothing like, with the gift store thing. This would just be a gift. You wouldn't have to pay for it. So we'll see how it goes. But I do mean to work on that. And if I can have something done before 2027, so much the better. But we'll see. We'll see. Of course, they wouldn't have to pay for it or anything. I mean, I don't know. I got 2 kidneys. I don't need both of them. So they wouldn't have to pay for them. Well, I'll finance it myself. But we'll see how it goes. I cannot believe there's a thunderstorm right now. Let me go take a look. Okay. All right. Connie Bomber, I don't know what these things are. Is Tartufi? No, Tartufi. Nocolati al latte. These are so good. I think they have hazelnut. Let me see. It's a praline something, chocolate praline, but this is good. I had a feeling it was going to be good. So thank you so much for that. Mmm, delicious. And of course, because it's from Europe, it doesn't have all of those weird ingredients that Americans are so fond of using. You know, those um what do you call the industrial grade um emulsifiers and stuff. It's all natural ingredients and it tastes natural and it's not overly sweet. It's just sweet enough, right? It doesn't have that dreaded high fructose corn syrup and stuff. No, it's all good stuff. So, huh, well, thank you very much. Yeah, no bio, no chemicals, none of that stuff. Just delicious. Just delicious. So, thank you very much. Yeah, I just cracked that bag open today. I was like, let me try one of these. Let me try another one of those. Well, let me just sit these two on the table and then I won't go back. uh, yeah. So, okay. Again, thank you, everyone. And yes, I love that Royal Sussex symbol. That is beautiful. Very beautiful. So regal, so golden. Gives me some ideas. Oh, Maurice Brown says, it's a thunderstorm. Yes, it is. It's like thunder, lightning. The way you love me is frightening. You better knock, knock, knock on wood, baby. Woo, ooh, 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 baby. Ooh, 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 ooh. You better knock, knock, knock on wood. You better knock, knock, knock on wood. Remember that song? Oh man, that was a good song. It's like thunder, lightning. The way you love me is frightening. You better knock, knock, knock on wood, baby. Woo, ooh, 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 baby. Woo, ooh, ooh, ooh. Yep, that was a good song. That was a good song. I tell you, when I hear them old songs, I just feel so young. It just makes me feel so young. And then what happens at some point, I walk past a mirror or plate glass window and I see some old decrepit thing looking back at me. And I'm like, what perverted creep is staring at me like that? And then upon closer inspection, I'm like, oh, God, that's me. I'm that creepy looking, silver haired, bad posture person looking back at me. Oh, you have no idea. I used to go to the club. I didn't even hardly say hi to anybody. Some places I went, I didn't even know anybody. I would just go straight to the riser or to the stage and I would dance, with the group of people up there. I would dance. And by the time I left, I would be soaked from head to toe. Soaked. Oh, those were some fun times. And don't let it be disco night. This one club, they used to have a disco night. And some people would dress up in bell bottoms and stuff like that. Oh my God, that was fun. I love disco night. They did it once a month. Yep, that was fun. I can't catch no man hanging around at a discotheque, but I believe in the boogie. Dun, 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 wow, disco night. Oh my God, that was fun. Yep, that was fun. I would just dance and dance and dance. Didn't know nobody. And of course, back in those days, I wasn't much of a drinker. So I would just pay that little cover. And, for some reason, didn't drink any water, didn't drink anything. And I was okay. I even went, like, stopped at the corner store and got me a bottle of water or something like that. And I was fine. But now you have to almost stuff a bottle of water in your belt or whatever. Otherwise, we just collapse. But yeah, those were some good times. Yeah, I was a little bit too young for that. What was it? About 3 years when disco was hot and heavy. I was a little bit too young to go to anything but a house party. But house music had so much disco mixed into it that you didn't really feel like you missed much of anything. So yeah, house music was like the next logical step after disco. Remember that one house music song where the lady says, "Get on down and party. Get on down and party." I don't know who that was, but that was when the DJ would play that, it was on. Get on down and party. Well, check 1, 2, 3. Isn't that amazing? We made it that far before the microphone went out. I am just confounded by this. I don't know why it keeps going out. I don't know why it keeps going out. Let me see. My Shure microphone keeps disconnecting. Okay. It happened again. It happened again. Oh, well, sorry about that, you guys. I'm going to have to call them and see what's going on with this thing. It should not be doing that. Unless, you know what? I'm going to see if I can plug it directly into the PC. I mean, it is a wireless connection of sorts. I don't know. Is it wireless? No, it's not wireless because it's plugged in. I don't know. So weird. Ah, so weird. I don't know. Oh, that would be very nice. That would be very nice. I appreciate that. Okay, you guys, we should go. I've been on here for 2.5 hours. Haven't been on this long in a while. So thank you all very much. I don't suspect we're going to see or hear from our faves for a while. I think they may actually try to lay low to help out the old man and that dreaded woman that he's traveling with. Um, so I suspect they're going to lay low and hopefully they can get the much needed attention that they want, even though they're so gosh darn boring. Um, Notice I said the attention that they want, not deserves. Great idea. Let's cue the Ginger Avenger. Love you guys. Thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. And we'll talk about the much needed gift bag. I think that would be such a great idea. I actually have already started the purchase. I bought some things to go in there already. So I think it'd be fun. It'd be like so cool to put it together. Want it, somebody? uh, okay. Cue the Ginger Avenger.